Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Indie-Scribable. This week we're covering indie board game sensation Armello. Created by Australian-based developers League of Geeks, Armello is a hex-based board game with card collecting mechanics and dice-based combat. The basic premise of Armello is that the kingdom of Armello is in danger. The king is being attacked by what is known as the rot. Basically, it's a poison or a disease that night after night is taking his life from him, and the whole kingdom knows it. And so every tribe in the land has sent a champion forth to try to win favor with the people and become the next ruler of Armello. You can currently choose from 4 playable heroes. You can choose Thane of the Wolf Clan, who specializes in combat, Amber of the Rabbit Clan, who has a very deep financial backing, Mercurio of the Rat Clan, who is sneaky to no end, and Santa of the Bear Clan, who is one with the wild. She basically has added magic abilities. The basic flow of the game is that you will choose your hero, you will then choose what gear to outfit them with, which can be grown over time as you win and play more games, and then you fire up the game and you get started. Based on your action points, you can move a set number of tiles. As you move around the map, you can land on town grids that will let you take them over for monetary gain. You can land on dungeon grids that will give you a random chance of either getting something great like a treasure, money, or extra magic, or possibly spawning an evil bane to fight against you. You can encounter bogs that will damage your health, and you can also go up on mountaintops to defend yourself, give yourself a better defensive position. You can also land on stone circles, which are basically tiles that look like Stonehenge that will allow you to recover a little bit of health. There are also tiles you can encounter that will have a Danger Will Robinson Don't Go Here type sign on them that say there's a peril here, and perils require a combination of stats and a little bit of luck with the dice rolls and able to pass the peril and keep from having to suffer some sort of negative penalty. Now, along the way, if you run into another character, you can try to move on to a tile they're on, but it's going to initiate combat. Once you're in combat, you'll square off 1-on-1 against another character. You get a total number of dice equal to your fight stat, and each of these dice have a chance to roll. Your target is to get more attack dice and defense dice than your opponent. Now, you're going to swing your sword or your blade or whatever one time for each attack die, and you're going to be able to defend yourself for each defense die. You can augment this with cards in your hand that have different effects that you can basically sacrifice or burn to guarantee an attack or defense die roll. Now, as you play through the game and you complete quests and you kill Banes and you kill other player characters, you will gain what is called prestige. And at the end of a typical game, the player with the most prestige wins. But be careful in combat. If you die in combat, if you lose to an opponent, you lose a prestige. Now, there's also a card-based aspect to the game. Each turn, depending on which character you are, you can draw a certain number of cards to fill up your hand. That's different depending on the character. And you can draw either item cards, which typically cost money. You can draw magic cards, which will cost you wild. And you can draw trap cards, which can cost money to play, and they create these perils in the world, but they can give you a very real competitive advantage. Now, item cards can be anything from a healing potion to an equipable item. You can equip up to 3 items at once. You can also get companion cards that allow you to have companions added to your party that will also affect your outcome in combat. As I also mentioned earlier, when you go dungeon exploring, there's a chance you can get a treasure card. Well, those treasure cards are often very good items that you can equip, such as a helmet that has added effects, or a shield that will guarantee you 2 defensive dice when you enter combat. And when the game starts, you have 9 days to work around the world of Armello, get your prestige up, and take care of business. There are 2 phases to each day, the day phase and the night phase. Now, each night phase, the king gains a little bit of rot. He gains 1 rot per turn. And each day phase, he loses 1 health. Each morning, the king will choose his favorite hero, and that's typically the character with the highest prestige. He will offer them 2 world-altering decisions, and they get to choose which one affects the rules of play for the next day. Ultimately, there are 3 ways to win the game. When the king dies after the final day, the player with the highest prestige will win by default. Now, you can also take stones that you collect over the course of the game, and if you're feeling really bold, you can charge into the castle with them. If you defeat the perils and make it to the king with the stones, you can cure him of the rot, banish him from the realm, and become the champion of Armello. Finally, if you're completely confident in your skills, you can try to take on the king directly before he dies. You can charge into the castle, give up all of your action points and cards and everything, and go head-on-head with the king. Now, if you beat the king, you become the ruler of Armello. If you lose, however, it's instant game over for you, and whoever has the second highest prestige becomes the new ruler of Armello. The gameplay of Armello is fantastic. It feels like they had a physical board game with dice and cards sitting right in front of them when they were designing this game before they ever went to code with it. Even more than the gameplay though, the visual design of Armello is astounding. It has a bright, warm color palette that will instantly catch your eyes. And if you look at the animation and the design of the characters, the way everything's drawn, it reminds me so much of Disney's Robin Hood, where they're all animals, and Robin Hood's a fox. This game looks so much like a Disney movie, and the animation is fantastic. There are small flourishes that really add a lot to the visual design of this game as well, if you pay close attention. Now, the cards are all animated, so they might have something like a static image, but there's going to be some sort of animated element to all of them. It's something that gives it a really neat, unique visual twist. Combat is also fascinating to watch. As you roll the dice and everything comes up, they will actually show how everything plays out by characters jumping across the screen, swinging swords. If you have the defense dice, they're going to defend the strikes. It looks great, and it times up perfectly well with what plays out in the dice. Now, one thing I feel like the game is currently missing is the ability to hot seat play. If I've got a board game here with 3 other friends, we can all sit around and play. Why would I not be able to do that with something that is basically a digital board game? Now, the game is still in early access, so that might be something they plan to patch in later, but it definitely feels like it's missing at this stage. If you're not a fan of the 4 heroes that are currently in the game, I would urge you to go to the forums and check everything out. It looks like they're still planning to add in possibly as many as 4 other heroes. I'm not 100% sure of that, but it looks like there's still going to be plenty to go. And I've already been looking at the patch notes coming up for the next thing. You're going to be able to place bounties on other heroes. That's going to be pretty cool. So all in all, at the end of the day right now, I feel like the League of Geeks has produced a beautiful, well-designed board game that I would be happy to sit down and play with anybody at any time. The game is still in early access, so I expect more to come along, but if this were the final product right now, I would be very happy with what I've got in my hands. The game is currently $25 in early access on Steam, and I would encourage you to check it out. But just like every episode of Indie-Scribable, there's a chance you can win a copy for free. If you want a chance to win that free copy of Armello, be sure to like our video, comment below and tell me what else you'd like to see me play. Tell me what's interesting to you about Armello. Subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think. The winner for our competition with Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons is Josh Morris. Josh, I'll be contacting you to get you your copy of Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons through Steam, so be looking out for it. And as always, guys, be sure to check out the website. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Like us on every social media you can get a hold of. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course. Share this with friends. Get other people involved. Let's get the community built up here. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. I hope that you enjoyed my view of Armello here. Make sure you like and comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good evening. Go forth and game.